Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Tatayambi Dhammam saranam gacchami. Tatayambi Sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from the happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, about to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, about to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, about to master them all. However endless the Buddhist way is, about to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayatam Gati Gati Para Samgati Bodhisoha. Tayatam Gati Gati Para Samgati Bodhisoha. Tayatam Gati Gati Para Samgati Bodhisoha. So now get yourself ready for some meditation practice. Remember that the past is gone, so give up worry. Future's not here, so let go of any anxiety. Live in this present moment, which is fleeting. So don't attach to it. You may notice in recent times, maybe the last month or so, I've been doing the chanting a bit faster. I hope that's okay for you. It just gives us an extra minute to talk as well. So if you can get back to me, if you don't like it being that fast, then I'll slow it down again for you. Okay. But normally it takes probably, when we do it like we did before, maybe 4.5 minutes, a little bit less than that maybe. And like this, it's about 3.5 minutes. So I just thought I'd let you know the reason why, in case you noticed. Okay, so now bring your mind inside your body and release the tension from your body. From the tips of your toes, all the way up your legs, to your shoulders, to the tips of your fingers, and then back to the top of your head. So let's take a few moments to do this now. Now scan your body once more to see if there's any tension left over that you can release. And then do it. And when you're ready, bring your mind or your focus to the tip of your nose initially, and follow the feeling of the breath as you breathe all the way into your lungs and then back out your nose again, and so on. Try to focus seamlessly on your breath. When the mind wanders from the breath, utilize the antidotes of replacing it back onto or your mind onto your breath again. Okay. Breathing in, breathing out. That's all we have to do physically right now, apart from sitting here, standing here, or lying down, whatever posture you're in. And mentally, all we have to do is focus on the feeling of the breath as you breathe in and breathe out, and then apply the antidotes if you become distracted or dull. You can also add this extra technique of counting the breaths from 1 up to 10. And if you get distracted while counting towards 10, then go back to 1 at that time. Up to you. So if any thoughts arise or mental activity arises, any mental movement arises, don't cling to it. Don't grasp at it. Also, don't try to force it away or deny it even, but simply and naturally let it go by replacing your mind back onto your breath. And if you start to become a little bit dull mentally, then refocus on your breath more brightly. This way, replacing your mind back onto your breath is the antidote for both the agitated mind as well as the dull mind. So let's practice like this for a little bit in silence. So now you can feel pleased with yourself and fill yourself with universal loving kindness. Fill your whole being with the white light or the white nectar. Or just going with the feeling is fine too. A feeling of universal loving kindness, friendship, acceptance, appreciation, respect, and so on for yourself right now. Fill yourself with so much loving kindness that it now overflows and radiates outwards, initially to your loved ones, family and friends, filling them with the universal loving kindness too. May they be happy and have the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and free from the causes of suffering. May they be peaceful and free from conflict. And now also include strangers, those people that you're indifferent towards, whether you know them or not. Fill them with the universal loving kindness too. May they also be happy and have the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they too be peaceful and free from conflict. Now let's radiate further and further. Now also include those you may regard as enemies, those people that you find very difficult, even thinking about them. Now extend this loving kindness to them too. Fill them with this universal loving kindness. May they too be happy, have the causes of happiness, and be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they too be peaceful and free from conflict. May all of these people be happy, free from suffering, and be peaceful. Now radiate this loving kindness out further and further distance-wise, initially around your immediate area, to all living beings now. All sentient beings, whether weak or strong, great or small, short or tall, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born, may they all be happy. Those living beings that live in the waters, on the land, fly through the air, born from wombs or eggs or moisture, or through transformation. Extend this loving kindness to them all, and also throughout your whole state or county. May all of these living beings have happiness, be free from suffering, and be peaceful. And other states and counties throughout your whole country. And other countries throughout the whole world. Initially, those that you're familiar with and have an affinity towards, as well as those countries that you're indifferent towards, and those countries that, for whatever reason, you have some sort of negative feelings towards. And also have your loving kindness pervade throughout all the waterways, the oceans, and so forth. Till your loving kindness pervades this whole planet. all the way to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. May all of the living beings on this planet realize happiness and the causes of happiness. May they realize being free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And may they be peaceful. Now let's radiate further and further, gathering so much momentum now throughout the whole solar system. Have your loving kindness pervade throughout this solar system to all living beings. And other solar systems throughout the whole galaxy. And all of the galaxies throughout the universe and beyond, until your loving kindness pervades throughout infinite space. This infinite, immeasurable, limitless loving kindness pervading throughout infinite space. Generated in your own heart, your own mind, or what we can call the heart mind. And what I mean by that is the compassionate and wise mind, generating this loving kindness and radiating it outwards to all living beings, of which we are interrelated with, interdependent, interconnected. So now let's do the dedication prayer. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious bodhicitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. So, hope you're feeling meditative now, nice, calm, clear mind. And we will continue the discussion or the commentary on the 8 verses of thought transformation. And we will finish up on verse number 8 today, and then do a few few parts to the conclusion. Maybe 2, maybe 3. We'll see how we go, how fast I get through it and so on, okay? So we've done pretty much about 9 months by the time we finish. And that's about the same length of time we took to have the commentary on the 6 paramitas. Except with the 6 paramitas, there was actually a short break in between, I think 2 or 3 weeks in between for the new year. Okay, so this is this subject is the longest we've taken to go through the commentary. And it's the shortest text. Interesting, isn't it? So, but of course, we're talking about paramitas, 6 paramitas. We're talking about perfection of wisdom. We're talking about the relative bodhicitta, both aspirational as well as practical. And we're talking about the ultimate bodhicitta, specifically in the second half of this verse, which goes like this: without these practices being defiled by the stains of the 8 worldly concerns. And from here onwards, it's the ultimate bodhicitta. By perceiving all phenomena as illusory, I will practice without grasping to release all beings from the bondage of the disturbing, unsubdued mind and karma. So we work to free living beings from the karma and from the ignorance, the attachment and the aversion. But as it says in the Diamond Sutra, we can't think like I am liberating beings, because there is no I. There is no living beings, okay? All interconnection and interconnected, interdependent, and empty of independence, empty of disconnection, you could say. Okay, so don't think, put yourself above others, or even put yourself below others, and eventually not even equal to others. Just things are as they are. Okay, just try your best to perceive things as they are, and all conditioned phenomena are like illusions. like we mentioned last week. I gave a lot of commentary on my song last week, or a reasonable amount of commentary. And so I think we've covered that sentence, okay? By perceiving all phenomena as illusory. And now I will give some other commentary, including reiterating what we finished with last week, and then a little bit more as well, okay? So on how to practice both on the cushion and off the cushion by perceiving all phenomena as illusory. Then it becomes much easier to be compassionate. It becomes easier to let go of the self-centeredness, even if we're not free from it yet. Okay? So, like this, by viewing or perceiving all phenomena as illusions, by perceiving the illusion-like nature of phenomena, we free ourselves from attachment to phenomena as independent, discrete, independent entities, okay? So like a concrete entity. So we free ourselves from grasping to this. To things that we find pleasing, we free ourselves from attachment. To things we find unpleasant, we free ourselves from aversion, eventually leading ourselves to uproot the very root cause of samsara, of suffering, which is ignorance. We do this by practicing ourselves and also developing more and more compassion without attachment for the benefit of all living beings. And helping other living beings to do likewise. First of all, through your vibe, through your mind, then through your actions of the body, of the speech, and then just being a good influence for them, but also teaching living beings, if we can, if we learn something that's of benefit, whether it's worldly or whether it's actually only to do with the Dharma path to enlightenment, then you should share this with others if they are ready to hear it. Teach or share what is appropriate for each living being, okay, according to their own individual sort of tendencies and so forth, okay, their character. Okay, once you have succeeded in freeing yourself from such attachment, the perception of the illusion-like nature of reality will automatically arise, spontaneously arise, naturally. So the more that we put this into practice, we may have to force ourselves, remind ourselves over and over. In fact, sometimes we may forget right now because of our habits. But we have to force ourselves a little bit to practice like this. And eventually it will become a habit to force ourselves. It will become a habit, natural habit, to then put this into practice like this. And eventually, once we are free from the attachment to self, to others, then actually it's spontaneous, that we will actually be dealing with everything in samsara, everything in the world, like it's an illusion, you know, not attaching to it, not having an aversion for it, and not increasing our ignorance, increasing our delusions, our mental afflictions, okay? Then whenever things appear to you, although they may appear to have an independent or objective existence, you will know as a result of your meditation, of your practice and absorbing your mind, that this is not really the case. You know, this computer, yes, we associate it as a computer. Yes, it's my computer because I bought it, okay, and I have it here. Thanks to Lisa, I can actually use it, and to others as well. And so, but mine really? No, no such thing. There's no such thing as mine. As I say in the Everything song in the chorus, which is kind of like how to practice in a sense. No one owns anything, really. I mentioned to you many times before how my guitars were stolen, acoustic guitar and an electric guitar and an amp or a foldback wedge were stolen when I moved back to Australia and moved into this place up in the suburbs in Melbourne. And I did some music work late into the evening, 2 gigs actually in the one night, came back to the house, didn't want to take my really good acoustic with me, so I took the second one. I didn't need the electric because it was an acoustic gigs, or they were acoustic gigs, and so left them in the house to keep them safe. But somebody broke into the house and took them. Luckily, they were insured, but only for replacement value, not for the actual value of these great guitars, okay? Custom-made electric guitar. and also an acoustic guitar that was very old, almost 30 years to even to that stage, okay? So I don't own them. It taught me that I didn't own things again, you know? I got angry. I got frustrated. I went looking for the guys in case they were near. But where did that come from? Where's the anger come from? That's attaching to self, attaching to think you own something, you know? But I perceived that, again, I don't own anything. Even if I utilize these things, the guitars, this computer, the car, if I need to drive somewhere, you know, my legs, if I need to walk somewhere, you know, we say my legs, we say my arms, my eyes, my nose, my mouth, you know, but actually there's no my. We should free ourselves from sort of clinging to this concept. We can utilize these words, but as you utilize them, realize, like an illusion. It's not like that. So as soon as you give rise to this I or my or mine, then the opposite arises too. Theirs, yours, you know, them, you know, my people, my friends, my family, their people, their friends, their enemies, you know, my enemies, you know. So we give rise to this this duality, this dualistic way of thinking, unless we can let it go. Okay, so I think even though this sounds very much like riddles, you know, when we speak like this, it's not. Okay, it's to remind you, to remind me too, me or you. There's no me, there's no you. Okay, so who are we thinking about when we think I or mine? What is this? Think about that in meditation, vipassana meditation. It's impermanent. These concepts are impermanent. They actually have the nature of suffering. There's no self to be found anywhere. There's emptiness of self, okay? Think about that in meditation. So I'll give you some homework, all right? Do meditation, do the normal meditation, but at the end of it, really give yourself the opportunity, even if you get very distracted, do whatever you can to maintain a mind of concentration and focus on this. What am I? What is this I? What is this thing that I associate as me or I? And contemplate, as we did with the commentary on the five skandhas, contemplate that, contemplate the form. What is that? You know, the makeup of it. The sort of, we give everything a title, everything a name. We associate some sort of identity with everything and contemplate the makeup of everything, you know, how it's changing all the time. And then try to go beyond that and realize its true nature. And then the same with the mind aspects, with the feelings, the mental feelings, pleasurable, unpleasant, neutral, then the perception, and then the mental sort of afflictions coming into play, and the sort of habitual tendency to react, the volition, the mental formations, I should say, okay, and of which there is the sort of, there's an element of the past through our habits coming into the present, and then there's the element of volition or intention in the here and now, okay, and then contemplate the consciousness, contemplate how all of these experiences wouldn't arise without consciousness, okay, which is constantly changing. Constantly changing, how could it be permanent self? How could there be a substantial self there? Okay, so that's your homework. Make sure you do it, okay? Do it every day, even if it's only for a few minutes at a time. You know, this can only help you. And you do exist, by the way, otherwise you couldn't practice the Dharma. But you exist not like you think you exist, okay? Just like water, water or H2O, you know, water does exist. That's why I can drink it right now. Yes, it exists. With hydrogen and oxygen, the right mix of these together, then yes, water exists. But take away one of those properties or have an imbalance, and then water does not exist. It exists dependent upon the right balance of hydrogen and oxygen. Just like we exist dependent upon these five skandhas, okay, in a relative way. All right, so contemplate like this, and then you can start to free your mind from this attachment to self. And even if we go through so many difficulties in life, they won't affect you in a big way like they maybe have so far, okay, or right now even, okay. So that's that page done. Now I move on to these ones, okay? You will be aware that things are not as substantial and solid as they seem, as they appear to be. So if you think like this, then you can realize, okay, this desk that I have here, wood. I don't know what type of wood. Very nice desk, actually. It's quite old, actually. My parents bought it for me when I was a teenager in high school. You can't see it because the computer's up. Actually, my computer is up on 4 big books. And this is how I sort of did this to get it on the right level. When we first started doing these Dharma classes, you know, I tried a few different ways on where to put the first few Dharma classes. Actually, was I utilized my phone because I didn't know how to download or upload, I don't even know what you call it, the Zoom app onto my laptop. And it took me maybe 3 or 4 weeks of classes before I did. Anyway, I worked out a way to put it up here, okay? But books, they don't appear. We think they're books and they're solid, but no, they're not. Right now, they're not books. Right now, the function of these things, it's like a stand so that the computer is on this. So this idea of identifying these as books is incorrect right now. You know, my books, or these ones actually, it's funny, one of them is an atlas, and it's my atlas from high school too, actually. The other books are my mum's Plants and Flowers, Gardener's Encyclopedia of Plants and Flowers. The other one's Explore. I can't really read it. It's actually worn out a little bit, so old. But anyway, these books, right now, this Gardener's Encyclopedia of Plants and Flowers is not that at all. It's just something to prop up my computer with, along with the other 3 books, so-called books. This desk, you know, we associate it as a desk. It's hard, yeah, fine. But what is a desk really? Actually, maybe it wouldn't be a desk if I ate dinner on it or lunch. It would then be the table, okay? Maybe if I slept on it, you can call it a bed. Actually, and maybe I'll use a bit of humor now. I have been using humor anyway, but I'll utilize it again. If I pee on it, then it's a toilet, okay? So we identify it as a desk right now, but actually that's not the function of it if you utilize it for different reasons, okay? Right now, it's a desk. That's fine. That's relative. Don't cling to it. It's like an illusion, okay? How long have I got? 3.5 minutes. The term illusion, therefore, points to the disparity between how we perceive things and how they really are, which I was just alluding to. Due to having a more clear perception of how things really are, we will have a mind of equanimity and be able to maintain the great compassionate and altruistic intention, or bodhicitta, which really is the goal, you know, for studying or having commentary on the first 7.5 verses, this bodhicitta, relative bodhicitta. And then, of course, we have this ultimate bodhicitta, the supreme wisdom of emptiness, marrying them together. We're able to do that. We're able to consistently, continually practice like an unbroken thread, okay? It will be easy for you to generate a genuine affinity with others and a deep empathy with their suffering. Normally, as mentioned throughout this commentary, normally we think of our own well-being only, or at least we put it above others. Now we're able to perceive, because we don't have this attachment to self, this attachment to other, or even aversion from other, because we don't have that, we're able now to easily maintain a mind of equanimity and be compassionate. Think about the suffering of others and want to alleviate that suffering. Want to free beings, even though there's no freeing, there's no beings, and there's no you, okay? By perceiving all phenomena as illusory, I will practice without grasping to release all beings from the bondage of the disturbing, unsubdued mind and karma. That is the verse. So we should practice the giving and taking meditation to develop more and more compassion and to develop genuine insight into the nature of reality. to generate the great mind of enlightenment, both the relative and the ultimate bodhicitta, eventually realize unsurpassed supreme enlightenment for ourselves, for the benefit of all living beings, okay? So that basically is the end of the commentary of verse number 8. So the end of the commentary of all of the verses, except, like I said, I will wrap it up, say over maybe 2 or 3 classes, all right? It's off the top of my head. I haven't written any notes for this at all. If I get it through it in one class, then we move on to other things, okay? Otherwise, I reckon it will take probably 3 classes. So please continue to participate. And if for any reason that you're unable to participate live, then obviously look at the video later, either on the YouTube channel or on Facebook. So I rejoice in your participation. Please take care of your mind, take care of your body as much as you can. And I rejoice in your goodness always. And study the Dharma well, practice the Dharma well, and share the Dharma well. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Or did I have more time than I thought? I think I did. But that's okay. Now I'll get cut off. I thought I was actually doing the right thing by stopping there.